So it's literally been 72 hours with the Switch. 72 hours with Breath of the Wild. This is your boy Leveled Head here to give my 3-day thoughts on the Switch and really Breath of the Wild. Now, I'm going to do a more in-depth video on my thoughts of the Switch, where I talk about the tablet, I talk about the Joy-Cons, I talk about the grip, and I talk about the what is that thing called? The dock. I'll do that in another video, but I will say this. You will probably want to go ahead and buy your Pro controller. While the grips, the Joy-Cons are comfortable in your hands separated, they're not as comfortable in the grip setup. Now, it's not that you cannot get used to it and adjust to the way it feels in your hand. It's just very different than a traditional controller. And the only reason I make that critique is because it's trying to mimic a traditional controller in the way that it is set up to give you that traditional feel. But the position of the shoulder buttons with the grip's form and shape makes it very awkward trying to get your fingers onto the shoulder buttons. Like I said, you can adjust to it. It's not a major issue, just me personally preference. I will suggest that you go ahead and spend the 70 bucks and get you a Pro controller. And I'm going to tell you this right now, the Pro controller is one of the most comfortable controllers I've ever had in my hands. The buttons are a little bit bigger than what you would get on the Xbox and PlayStation. It's just comfortable, man. So anyway, I bought Fast RMX or Fast Remix, however you want to say it. I will do a video for that as well, telling you why I chose the game and who helped persuade me to get that game. And I also downloaded Snipper Clips. I think that's what that game is called, and I will give you my thoughts on that in another video. But right now, I just want to talk about my first 3 days with The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Now, look, I'm gonna say this first off. Anyone concerned about graphics need not worry, not because it's ultra realistic and there's a whole bunch of poly counts and all that stuff. No. The art direction that Nintendo chose to go with Breath of the Wild, after you play the game, it makes sense. Because you cannot capture, in my opinion, some of the glory that Nintendo has and some of the creative imagination that Nintendo has placed in this game. I don't think it would resonate going with a realistic art direction. There's just some places like Zora, the Zora domains or the kingdom, or the Zoras. I think that's how you say it, or Zoros, Z-O-R-A. I think that's how you say it. I'm not for sure. When you get there and you behold that place, when you walk in, oh my God, your mouth is going to drop. Now, I just made it there yesterday because I've been so sidetracked by all the other stuff that I really haven't been staying on the storyline so much as just going wherever the heck I want to go and finding things and seeing things and discovering stuff that I'm just going to tell you is so out of the norm of what we typically see in a Zelda game. Some of the stuff I have seen in this game doesn't come off like Zelda. Like, okay, now I'm trying not to spoil anything, but you should know this by the trailers. You're going to be triggering certain past events. I won't say what they are, but you have to go trigger certain past events so you can see things that have happened in the past for a particular purpose. Now you'll discover why you have to do this if you haven't played the game. If you're playing the game, you know what I'm talking about, but if you haven't played the game, or if you haven't picked it up yet, you will find out why you have to go trigger these past events. Now, there was one spot I had to go to that I had to trigger. Once I got there, I triggered the event. I saw what I needed to see, or I recalled what I needed to see, and then I went inside of this particular place. It's like this, you coming through this, I guess it was, I don't know what you would call it, but you could tell it used to be something that has been broken down, and you get there, you trigger the event, and then you go in, I'm on my horse, I go in, and I run across this creature, this minotaur, or this half horse, half human thing. It looked like something out of Narnia. That's what it looked like. It looked like something out of Narnia. And it was huge. And it saw me from a great distance away, and it just stands there and stares at you. Now, I don't know if it's the thing that I heard Game Explain talk about. Now, I can't remember the name of the thing, because once you go to another place, you're going to have to encounter one of these beasts there, because you need what he has in order to take down one of the major entities in the game. I'm trying not to ruin it for folks. But anyway, you got to come across this beast again. But my first encounter with it, I didn't look. And first, let me tell you something. You stand no chance with these people in the current state that you're in. Like, you're gonna run across stuff that you just ain't got a chance with. Right now I have 5 hearts. I have 1 upgrade in stamina. So that means I have played, it takes 4 orbs to get a new heart or stamina. Now that's, I hope that didn't spoil nothing from some of you guys, but anyway. So that means I've beat 12, I got 1 orb, so I've beaten 13 shrines. And these shrines are scattered all over the place. And some of these shrines will hand you your tail. I mean, literally, you don't have no business going up in there. There's one shrine that's out in the middle of a body of water. And it's a major shrine. It's a battle shrine. It's a test of your wit for its battle. You just fighting in there. So some of the shrines are, when you walk in, you're trying to figure out a puzzle. Then some shrines you go in, you're battling. They're preparing you for when you have to battle bosses and things like that. And I'm telling you, man, this is so a departure from what we're used to with Zelda. It makes no sense. Just throw out how you approach the battle mechanics. Let's throw that out. Just rid your mind of that, because you're gonna be running for your life and you ain't gonna beat a lot of stuff until you super powered up. I mean, right now it's just stuff I just cannot handle. All I can do is run around it and try to get around it without it seeing me or without it capturing me or catching me. But this game is beautiful. I mean, look, folks, I don't even know what else to say about this game. It's the best game that I've played in decades. It's definitely the best Zelda I have ever played. And Zelda Ocarina of Time is my favorite game of all time. So this will be, in my book, probably the best game that I've ever played. The most creative, the most imaginative, the most beautiful. And like I said, it ain't because of the realism. It's because of where they can go, because of what they chose to do artistically. Y'all got to understand something. There is a freedom and an unlimited ability that they can go with by choosing not to go so realistic, to go with an art style that doesn't limit them with what they can do and what they can imagine in the game. Like when you go realistic, there's certain things that have to stay true. When you don't go so realistic, you can let the imagination go where you want, and you can do what you want to do. And like I said, when you get to the Zora Kingdom, you will understand what I'm talking about. It's just something about that you will not be able to replicate in an ultra realistic setting. And it just makes me curious what other stuff look like when you get to the top of the mountain, when you get into the shrines, when you get, man, I mean, when you see one of the major entities in the game, the first one I've seen so far. I haven't seen all, the beast, so to speak. I won't say their names or anything like that. But when you see it's just something that nobody else does. It's just something about how Nintendo approaches this stuff that is so a cut above what you would see other people doing. That's the only way I can do it. It ain't no knock to what other folks do and what other developers do, but even with how you fight in this game, how you get around, it's just, I don't know what Nintendo, how they are able to do stuff that keeps your attention. Whereas other games, I don't know if it was that big and massive. I don't know if it'll keep your attention as well. Like everywhere you go, there is something there to be seen. There are so many different and unique creatures. Like it's this one, I took a picture of it. And it's just, and people know what I'm talking about, it's just skipping around in the air. Just skipping around, and you can get a certain type of item from it if you kill it. Then there's, oh my God, I mean, dude, I can't even explain to you all the stuff. Some of these creatures will hide, like some of the lizard creatures will just hide, and you wouldn't even know it's there because it's so camouflaged. You wouldn't even see it, and then all of a sudden it just swoop in on you. And it looked like a flash, man. And it will kill you. Some of these one hit and you dead. It ain't no coming back. It ain't no, oh man, no, you dead. If you don't dodge right, if you don't time that dodge, if you don't block right, if you don't parry right, you are dead. One hit. Oh, this game is amazing to me. But anyway, 72 hours, folks. I've been playing this game for about, I think I got about 17 hours in. And other games, we've been unbeat the game. We'll be done or halfway done with other games. I haven't even scratched the surface. I have to go back to the Great Plateau just to see stuff that I've heard about other people talking about that I didn't even see. Like, for instance, I'll say this and I'll leave it alone. I was watching Game Explain talk about this particular piece of clothing that you have to get in order to endure the cold climate. Well, they went about telling you how to get that particular piece of clothing. Well, they said there was multiple ways to do it. One way is you go to the hut of the old man, and there's a book in there that you read, and it will give you a recipe to cook up so that you can withstand. It gives your body temperature a certain, it allows you to withstand the temperature while you're trying to get to this particular shrine. Okay, well, I didn't do that. I didn't even find that place. I hadn't even found nothing about that. So I heard about another way you could do it, and another way. Well, but I had already passed this point. I was already off the Great Plateau. And I was like, man, I didn't do none of those ways. What I did was I just ran up the hill of the side of the mountain towards the shrine, and I ate and rejuvenated my energy as I ran up. And then when I got to a particular fireplace, I lit up a Boko bat or club, and that kept me warm as I ran up the rest of the mountain. And when you get to the top, on the other side of the shrine, the old man is up there, and he says, I'm amazed that you were able to make it this far with the type of clothing that you have on. And he's so amazed that he just gives me the clothing to stay warm. That's how I got it. I didn't even find the hut or the house. I don't even know any of the recipes yet. That's why I got to go back, because I want to learn how to cook this stuff. And this is something you better do. When you get certain things, certain potions, read the recipe. Like, there are certain potions that's going to be given to you, and certain things that different people that you come across are going to hand you that's already made up. Read the recipe and learn that stuff so that you can make it when you need it, because now I got to go back to the Great Plateau to figure out how to cook up stuff to stay warm so I can traverse the colder climate areas, because I don't have the proper clothing to do that for a long period of time. That's how brilliant this game is, man. Literally, I got off the Great Plateau without discovering any of that stuff. And there's other stuff that that's why I got to go back to the Great Plateau. Once you try to get off of it, I got to go back to gain more knowledge, folks, so that I can be even more better at this game. Man, this game is so amazing. And the towers. Anyway, I gotta stop. Okay, so, but like I said, man, this game is amazing. Nintendo has literally blew me away. This game has far eclipsed my imagination. Even what I thought the game was going to be, it has totally left that. To the point, my family don't mind sitting there watching me play this game, like they did with Uncharted. They was watching me play this game, just at all with some of the places I was going and some of the creatures that I was coming across. They didn't even want me to turn it off. Dude, it's that real. And if Nintendo hasn't hit a jackpot with this particular device, sometimes you just know, man, you just feel it. I'm gonna be honest, as cool as the Wii U was, I just did not feel it when we got it. I loved it for myself as a Nintendo fan, but I didn't feel that it had that appeal. It just didn't have it. I felt it. My family would come over, just didn't care about the Wii U. The Switch has it. I don't know what it is. It has it. It has that it factor. And, I believe Nintendo is going to be in a great position, especially with positioning this game and this system together. But with that being said, I'll give a more detailed opinion on it when I'm in a better position. This is Levelhead on the Go. And make sure you tune into the podcast later on this week. And till then, folks, this is your boy signing out. Deuces.